So when it comes to the holidays, it can be difficult to avoid eating too much. That second and even third helping of mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, or turkey can be tempting. On the other hand, what should you do with all those leftovers? The turkey can only last in the fridge for so long, right? For some helpful tips, we're joined by Diane Kress and Kathy Jen from the Department of Nutrition and Food Scientists at Wayne State University. Thanks a lot for coming in this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
So,
You're welcome.
First off, let's talk about food waste and how we kind of curb it. Now, there's one thing to curb food waste when you're cooking, but can you even start earlier at the grocery store?
You absolutely should start at the grocery store. So let me start by saying that Thanksgiving is the worst day for food waste.
I believe it.
Of all the days. Number 2 is the Super Bowl. But at the grocery store, you should plan. So how many people are coming? How much reasonably do you expect people to eat? So if you don't over-purchase at the store, you'll waste less food when you get home.
You know, that's so easy to say, but we're also paranoid about not having enough food, not having enough food. What if I can't get somebody enough mashed potatoes, right? So you got to get over that.
So you will overbuy at the grocery store. And so you will also over-prepare. And then the point is try not to overserve. So don't fill your plate up too much, then you can use those as leftovers. Once it's been out on a plate, maybe you don't use it as a leftover quite so much, unless it's your own leftover. So,
yeah, plan ahead. That makes sense. Okay, so we know Thanksgiving is the biggest food waste day of the year. So, Kathy, you actually have a pretty interesting little demonstration here in front of us. Tell us about this and dishing up the food on your plate.
Okay, so our eyes sometimes deceive us. So these 2 plates, okay, this is a lunch plate, is a smaller plate, and this is a typical dinner plate.
Much larger.
Actually, the amount of food, each item are identical for those 2 plates. But this smaller plate, you feel you already fill up your plate, you have plenty of food, so you stop. But this one, you look at it, oh, I didn't get enough food, I should pile more.
It's so empty, Kathy.
It's so empty, exactly. You don't want to waste all those space.
That's right.
Not to waste food, but to waste the space, so you pile more food on. But actually, they are identical. So the big plate will make you feel to get more, so you tend to overpile and overeat. And it is very common that you end up with a plate like this.
Yeah, that's full of food that you probably won't finish.
You feel, okay, I have enough, put enough on. So this one's about 1,000 calories, and this one's 2,000 to 2,200 kilocalories.
Yeah, so almost double.
Easily you double.
Easily double.
Please notice, we didn't put any gravy, no pie yet.
Oh,
okay,
save
no
room for pie.
any dessert yet. So very easy. The research already showed that we could do 3,000, 4,000 kilocalories in one Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, that is a lot of calories.
That is already double for what is recommended for men and women of the regular size. So that is number 1. Use a smaller plate. And also, I think you should try to survey the dinner table first. You don't need to try every single dish, right? If you try every single one, there's no problem, you overeat.
And then you'll have a nap later on. Nobody wants that.
Okay, in order to try to use some of the energy instead of, overstuffed, sitting in front of TV, get up. If you don't feel like to walk, that's fine. Go to help the host clean up the dinner table.
Oh, that's nice.
That is a good idea.
The host will appreciate you and may invite you back next year
That's
for
right.
another Thanksgiving feast.
Man, Thanksgiving at your house sounds like a chore. All right, everyone, walk around, go help the host.
Yes, exactly. And also get your guests to help you prepare the food. When you prepare, you are busy, so you don't tend to sit there with all the chips, dips, and the crackers, all kind of cheese, and of course, drinking beer.
Yeah, make sure there's more to do than just eat. Now, if you do have a little self-control and you want to save some leftovers, how long can those leftovers keep? What about turkey in the fridge and whatnot?
Turkey in the fridge, probably, you made a good point earlier, about 2 days. But one thing you can do is you can freeze it, or you can make soup and freeze it, or you can send it home. Ask your guests to come with to-go dishes, and you can send them home with leftovers.
Oh, that's always a good tip.
So that's a good way to not waste the turkey, because most of the waste does come from the turkey.
Yeah, from a food point of view, is there anything else you can add in that would help us maybe not overindulge?
Not overindulge. I think Kathy made some really good points about being active. So, you said you might not want to walk. You might also not want to jog, but getting up and doing a turkey trot on Thursday morning is like a great way to start the day on a healthy note. Or, just doing something active with your family that doesn't just revolve around sitting around the table and eating food.
That's right. Get active, get involved. Now, Kathy, you shared a great tip of the smaller plate. Are there any other tips that can help us not overindulge right from the start? Because some of us have weak, willpower.
Talk, and talk. There are many friends or family members you haven't seen for a long time, so it's a great time to catch up. Talk, but don't talk when your mouth is full.
Hey, that's always a good tip and a good tip to end on. I won't talk when my mouth is full.
And when you talk, you kind of slow down the rate of eating, and that will give your brain more time to realize that there is enough food in the stomach. So satiety signal sent out by the brain will tell you you have enough.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Relax a little. That's right. Take your time in between
yes.
eating.
And we typically, the research showed that we gain about 1 to 2 pounds during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It may not sound much, but the problem is it's harder to lose those extra weight. And if you don't lose that post-holiday, and there may be a cumulative effect on the weight. So that's why our weight's going up and up.
Thanksgiving is the gateway meal to that holiday eating.
Sure is.
Right.
All right, well, we still want you to enjoy your holiday meal.
Yes.
Just maybe choose a smaller plate and get up and walk around a little. 2 things I love to do, talk and eat. Mix them all in Thanksgiving. Thanks a lot for coming by this morning. Really appreciate all the tips, and I'm going to take a smaller plate when I dish up this year.
Good, very good.